Yes, I have gone insane. I'm going to attempt something that I have been thinking about for quite a long time. You guys know I have a passion for 2-inch squares. I just think they're adorable. I enjoy cutting them. I enjoy selling them because I don't think too many people cut 2-inch squares to sell. I know there are some out there, but I just love being able to provide that for people who also have an obsession with 2-inch squares. There must be a real obsession out there somewhere. I can't be the only one. So for a long time, I was thinking about how cool it would be to make a king-size quilt top using just 2-inch squares. But I would quickly talk myself out of that, thinking that that's just nuts. And why would I want to spend so much time doing that when I don't even need a quilt top, you know? But I have been thinking about it for so long, and then I started talking about it to my exclusive shoppers, because I do daily chats for patrons and YouTube members almost every day. And I've been talking about how I'd like to do that, but I really had to think about it because I don't want to start something that I can't finish. And then it finally dawned on me that if I don't do this, or at least attempt it, I'm going to forever think about doing it. So I need to just do it, right? And I don't need to finish it. So here's how this is going to work. I want to make a king-size quilt top. Now, I have a video that I did explaining how many 2-inch squares you need for various size quilts. And I will link to that in the description, and I'll also throw it on the end screen of this video. So you can go watch that. The biggest one that I came up with at that time, just using general information, through a Google search, was a California King, and it was the finished size of the quilt is, I believe, I have it here somewhere, 102 inches square. That's fucking big. And it takes 4,624 2-inch squares. Got to do it, I think, 68 across, 68 up and down. That's big. So the first thing I'm going to allow myself to do is, first, I'm not making an absolute decision on what size I'm going to end up with. I might cut it down to just a regular king size and not much drop. I think there's a lot of drop on the sides for the one that I came up with in that video. Or if I'm having fun, I'm going to go ahead and just make it that size, 102 inches square. If I put it on eBay, and I say if because who knows, I might just love this so much that even if it just stays folded in a drawer and I want to hoard that thing, I might want to just keep it. I don't know. I'd like to not do that because I would end up never doing anything with it, and it seriously would just stay folded up, put away, and I don't want to do that. So if somebody wanted to get that on eBay, first of all, I don't know. I don't know if I would do a penny auction for that, because this is quite an investment in not only, my time, but the cost of the fabric. And I don't know, I would probably cry if I loved it and it sold for $22, that kind of thing. So again, I'm not making any promises on if it will even go to eBay, or if it goes to eBay, I might just put a flat rate on it. Or I might start it, I might have an auction and then start it at, not a penny, maybe $2. Maybe I'll start it at $2. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is this entire series is going to be mysterious, because I myself don't know what I'm going to want to do when it's over. And it might be over before I complete it. My way of letting myself just start this and not feel guilty if I end up getting absolutely sick of it is that whatever I get accomplished, those parts could go on eBay as penny auctions. Like, let's say I have a whole bunch of 4 patches done and I give up. And at the same time, I have a whole bunch of 2 patches done or whatever. I could just break all that up, have fun with penny auctions, and you know, at least know that I attempted something that I wanted to do, and then I can stop thinking about it. Because right now I'm obsessed with doing this, so I have to do it just to know that that I can try something that I want to do. I don't have to look way ahead and say, am I going to be a success at this or am I going to be a failure at this? There is no fucking failure involved. I'm going to take the journey and I don't care where it ends, right? Okay? So, I have to stick to that. I want to do this and I just want to be happy with whatever the outcome is. Another thing I want to mention is that I am going to do this with actual 2-inch squares. Now I know we can do this other ways. I've even shown you other ways, like I could do strip sets of sewing 2-inch squares together. I meant 2-inch strips, not squares. You make strip sets. And then cutting 2 inches this way, so there would be like a strip of maybe 4, what looks like now 2-inch squares, but it started with strip sets. That's great and easy if we want to do that. But I want to just use 2-inch squares. So I'm going to cut 4,624 2-inch squares as I go. And look, I have some starter squares. This is going to be quite the ride. I cut some squares like this last night, 20 of them. For one of my sales of packs of 2-inch squares. And when I was stacking them, I like tap on the table, I noticed there was something shorter inside and I somehow had screwed up. I didn't have my strip in the right position or whatever, so there was a square that wasn't 2 inches. And I'm so glad that I found that I spotted it. So I have 19 squares here. That's my beginning. Then I remembered I had some other 2-inch squares that just, I don't know why, they just didn't make it. I think I had overcut for a set or something like that. And they look like this. And I have 20 of those. So that's the start. That's the start of this project. I have 39 squares ready to go. I only need 4,585 more squares. Here's another thing that made me decide to do this. I know that sounds like a lot of squares, but I actually, if I can remember right, cut like over 17,000 squares once for one of my sales. I did that over a period of maybe 6 weeks or something. I knew I was going to have a sale heavy on 2-inch squares, and I just cut them like crazy. It doesn't take me that long to cut because I cut 2-inch strips and then I cut across to make the 2-inch squares. The thing is with this though, I mean, I do want some variety of prints. You know, I don't want to cut 3 yards of one print into 2-inch squares. So I will be, as this is going on, you know, looking for various scraps that I can cut into 2-inch squares. I'd even love to, you know, look at thrift stores if I find something 100% cotton, like a skirt or a shirt or something that has something really unusual. I would love to cut some squares out of that, or maybe some little novelty squares. Like maybe I'd find a print that has some cute little cats and I could cut a cat, you know, a 2-inch square of a cat. I just want this to be fun and creative, and I'm going to love just being able to sit down, pass some 2-inch squares through, you know, my sewing machine, and, you know, try to find little treasures that I can add to the quilt top. I hope that I enjoy it like I feel like I might enjoy it. And I hope you guys are curious enough to see my progress. Now, I'm not going to be doing a video like every week because that would get boring. But I will give you updates, and hopefully I can do some YouTube shorts about this, because that would be a good way to do a quick update, and then I can put those shorts on TikTok too if I can learn how to do all that shit. So I just, I will want to keep you updated, show you my progress. But my plan is to just start by getting more of a variety than this. Now, even if I wanted to send these through and make 2 patches that are all the same, that would get lost in a quilt top this size, right? So I could do that, but I will find some more prints, and that's just how I'm going to start. 2 patches, 2 patches. Then when I feel like it, I will make 4 patches. And then when I feel like it, I can put that into 16 patches. And I think that it'll end up, I think it'll end up being fun for me. And I'm very curious to see how it looks. With that said, I did do a postage stamp quilt. I will link to that also in the description, and maybe put that on the end screen of this video too. And it was a hot mess. It was 2-inch squares, but I think for that one, and I can't remember, I might have done like some strip sets and to show different ways to make something look like you started with 2-inch squares. I don't remember what I did. I know in the pictures, some of those squares looked like just like little slivers because of the way I had to trim to make it all work. So it really was a hot mess intersection-wise, but it still came out pretty cool. It was interesting, so you can go look at that. I am actually going to try to be really good with my intersections. I'm certainly going to get enough practice, right? I am very good about doing a 4-patch, but it's after that, if you don't do all 1/4-inch seams the exact way, or less or more, whatever seam size you want, that's when like the 4 patches don't quite match up. And then when you make 16 patches, all that stuff. I am not doing strips across. I could never sew 68 2-inch squares in a strip. It would be the most crooked strip ever. So I'm going to do 4 patches and then put those together, stuff like that. And I'm just going to try really hard when I send 2 squares through to just have them line up right to the edge of my foot. And I'm not going to worry about intersections with a quilt top this size, right? I mean, I can't be that obsessed with it. It's going to look nice. And here's the other thing. I'm going to promote this not just as a quilt top, but as fabric. If it ends up going on eBay one way or another at the end as a 102-inch square, and that might change too, that could be used as fabric for someone who would like to, cut some pieces out to make a little jacket. There are people who are very creative and could turn that into a nice lined jacket, or tote bags, or pillow covers, whatever. There's going to be a lot of fabric there to work with. So I want people who are not interested in a quilt top to remember that you can use this as fabric. And because there are going to be so many seams, and I don't want to worry about nesting, I would rather not have seams, a lot of seams that are both in the same direction when I'm done, because it makes it a little thick. That's okay when you're doing some stuff here and there, but there's a lot of seams in this quilt top. Therefore, I am going to do something that I rarely ever do. I'm going to open up all the seams. That won't be hard. When I'm at the machine, once I'm done and I open that up, I'll just press my finger, separate the seams and finger press that way. Then I don't have to worry about any nesting, making seams go in opposite directions. So I think that's a good idea. Another reason that I think I'm able to do this now is because I cleaned up my fabric closet and I have no more clutter in my actual sewing room. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's on my Growing Up Crazy channel, and I will have the playlist for that in the description. And I can't put it on the end screen because I think I've already said I'll put 2 other things on the end screen. I don't have room for more. So you can go watch that. And I want to tell you that cleaning up like I did, even though it's not perfect, it is so good enough for me. It's like it lifted a big weight off my chest of like going into that sewing room and being like, oh, I've got all this fabric. I don't know what to do with it. Now that I have it all put away, you'll see. Whatever is in my closet that you see, that's all the fabric I have. I don't have fabric anywhere else in this apartment. It's all contained to that closet, and that's the way it's going to stay. That made me feel like, you know, doing stuff like this. And see, I have this little chocolate box, and this goes here, and it's going to go in one of the drawers in the cardboard shelving units that I made. And I'm going to store everything there. I will have one box in one shelf for 2-inch squares. I will have other boxes for 2 patches as I put those together. Then I'll have something for 4 patches and whatever. It's all going to be nicely contained in a space that I will be able to look at and say, oh, this is cool, this is good. I won't have these things just stacked on top of boxes and then I don't even know where to look to find them. I'm very happy about that cleanup that I did and that closet organization, and that has made me want to do more things. And I still am going to be doing my Adorable Animals quilt blocks, the 6-inch blocks series. I'll link to that in the description. I'm going to continue that. So how my days are going to go is I'm going to try to sit at my machine every day. That's not like a punishment. I enjoy that. But I'm not going to be sad if I can't. I know there's times that I won't be able to. I don't care if I send just a few 2-inch squares through. I will consider that a success. And I'm going to be anxious, though, at the beginning. I just know I am, but I just want to take my time. And I'll still try to do the 6-inch squares once a week or maybe every 10 days, something like that. I'm still crocheting, too. I'm doing patches of this curly crochet stitch that I came up with a while back and that I redid as a new video and showing you the old video in the new video. I'll link to that in the description box too. I'm gonna have a lot of links to go see. I just want to include things every day that I enjoy, that I'm doing just for myself. And yes, if I can take you guys along on the journey as a video series, I certainly want to do that. I hope you subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you're not interested in my other stuff, maybe you'll be interested and or at least curious about this series to see how it comes along. I'm not going to make you wait 2 months for an update. You know, I will update as I go, and again, hopefully I can do some of that in the form of YouTube Shorts. It'll give me something to talk about, especially when I am like, I don't know what to do for a video. I can just show you guys my progress and what I've done, or if I've found any cool prints that I want to include. You know, it's just stuff that I love, and I want to be able to share stuff that I love because it makes me feel good. I guess I'm going to stop for now. More to come. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.